Hey guys, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. Today it is a very cold, wet day. It actually rained last night. I'm super happy about it. So now it's cold and damp and I can wear a sweatshirt or sweater thing and like not fry to death. I know tomorrow it'll probably be in the 80s again and I'll be back to tank tops, but I am taking full advantage of being cold and being able to wear like sweaters and being really happy about it. So, but anyways, the weather has nothing to do with today's video. I just wanted to say that because I'm very excited, if you cannot tell. And it is the perfect day to film talking about my last quarter of anticipated releases for the last quarter of the year. Yeah, I just said that, but forgive me, I haven't filmed in a bit, so I may be a little out of practice. But yeah, I have a bunch of books from September, October, November, December that are going to be coming out that I want to talk about. And yeah, I'm going to be also sharing a couple books that released in August that I missed the first time around, and also some ones that have released already in September because I'm filming this near the middle to the end of the month. And so I'm a little late to a couple of the ones that are already released. So I'm going to be talking about them anyways. Some of these I've read already because I've got arcs for them. I'm not going to be talking my thoughts about those books. I will be doing that in a recent reads type video. I still haven't quite determined what I'm doing with those yet. I'll be testing out with the summer ones. And yeah, thank you very much to everybody who's been voting on the polls I've been putting out on my community post. If you guys are watching this video and you're like, what are you talking about? You can always check out my community, like the community posts that I do. I've been doing some polls recently, getting your guys' opinions on what types of videos you like seeing from me and how I should do certain ones, mainly about the recent reads ones. So if you want to weigh in on those, you can go check those out if you're not aware of them. But yeah, other than that, we're just going to dive right into these books. I'm not going to go into great detail about them, mostly because I don't know enough. I'm probably just going to mention the genre and anything very vague that I know about. But for the most part, I don't know a ton about these books, or I didn't bother researching it before I started this video because, yeah, hello, this is me. I just do that. It's a bad habit, but I just do that. I have the anticipated ones of authors I've read before. I like their books. And then I have a wildcard section for each month where they're either authors I haven't read a ton from, or they're authors where I haven't read anything from them, but the book sounds interesting, so I've put them in that category. So some months have more than others. I think December is the least amount, which makes sense because I'm not sure how many books actually get released in December. December seems to be a very slow month for publishing, but which makes sense with Christmas and all that. So, and it being the end of the year, so it does make sense. Some of these books also don't have exact dates of when they're being released because I don't know personally yet. Some of these I got off of Goodreads, so the author could change them. So yeah, not everything's set in stone, of course, but here we are. I did my best, and yeah, look further into it if any of these look interesting to you. So I'm gonna start with the two that released at the end of August that I did not cover in my last video. First one is a re-release from Nicki Chapelway. This is A Twist in Reality. This released August 29th. This is the first book in the Mages War Saga, which is a young adult portal fantasy series. I really enjoyed this book. I got an arc for it. It's a re-release because this series used to be two different series. It used to be My Time in Amar and Return to Amar, I think are the two series that she originally published these books under, but she has since combined the two series together. She went back and she updated a bunch of stuff, got them new covers, new titles, for most of them anyways, a couple of them have the same title. And she's re-releasing the books, one a month, and sometime in early 2026, I believe she'll be releasing the final book, which has actually never been released before. So yeah, this is kind of just re-releasing books that she already had, but I'd never read the previous one, so I have no, like, comparisons to draw between the two, but I really enjoyed this one. It was super fun. I just really liked it. Yeah, and I'm going to be talking about later books later on in the series because she's, like I said, she's releasing one a month. But this was the first one. I really enjoyed this one. The other one that released August 30th, that is Beyond Ash and Clay by Noelle Nichols. I got this copy for review, and it's a short story. It's an Asian fantasy. She also drew the cover herself, which, you know, Noelle is one of those annoying people where they have multiple talents, where she can write really well and she can also draw really well, so, you know, unlike me, whose one claim to fame is she can write and literally do nothing else. I can't even draw a stick figure straight. Anyways, but yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Okay, so with the August ones out of the way, we're just gonna dive into September. And the first one, which has also already released because I'm late to the party. This one released September 9th. That was the Supervillain's Bodyguard by H.L. Burke. This is the 8th book in the Superhero Romance Project series. I also read this one for review. Didn't like it as much as some of the other ones in the series, but it's still a really good book. Has road trip vibes. One of the main characters, she has a superpower and she's trying to find some guy to remove it from her. And her friend from childhood, who doesn't have superpowers, he insists on going with her as her bodyguard. So, yeah, so it's kind of like a road trip adventure with superpowers, villains are chasing him, all kinds of crazy stuff. So, if that sounds interesting to you, this can be read as a standalone. You don't have to read the other 7 books before it if you don't want to, but I would recommend them because it's a really good series, and H.L. Burke is the queen of superhero novels, in my opinion. Next book, technically I guess I should put this series under wild cards, but I'm not because it's Tara Grayce book, and that is Winds of Death, which comes out on the 19th of September. This one is I should have written down the number, the 4th. I'll correct myself down here. I think it's the 4th book. Yeah, I think it's the 4th book. I will correct myself down here if I'm wrong. Of the War of the Alliance series, which is the sequel series to the Elven Alliance series, where we're following several children of the main characters from the Elven Alliance series 70 years into the future. So yeah, I don't know much about this series. It's a war story, fantasy with steampunk elements. That's kind of all I know. But it's attached to Elven Alliance. It's written by Tara Grayce. I want to read this series. I have the first 2 books, but I have not gotten to them, you know, because of course I haven't. Next one, which I am currently reading, because I got the ARC for this one. This is the 2nd book in the Mage's War Saga, and that is A Voyage for the Cursed by Nicki Chapelway. This one comes out September 26th, and yes, we're dealing with pirates here. We have pirates. So yeah, and like evil sirens and all kinds of things. Yeah, a brief thing about what this series is about. These 4 teenagers, it's a portal fantasy, like I said about the first book, but these 4 teenagers basically get kidnapped from our world, dumped in this fantasy world, and they're told, hey, you have to complete this quest that your father's never completed, and, well, you're, like, trapped here until you actually do it. And the whole gist in the first book, A Twist in Reality, is the fact that they have no idea what the quest is. So they're taking a quest to find out the real quest and what it entails. So yeah, so book 2 is continuing that journey, and yeah, there's all kinds of crazy things going on. We have other points of views. We have a character I dislike very much. I dislike this character, but I'll get to that when I talk about the book in a recent reads type-ish video. So anyways, this cover is gorgeous though. I really like the covers she's re-releasing the series with. They're really cool. Next book for September is that I'm super excited for. I heard I got on the ARC team, so I'm super happy about this. And that is A Wizard's Way by Brittany Fichter. This comes out the 30th. And yes, this is the final book in the Wizard of Vegas trilogy. I need to know what happens. It's urban fantasy, clean urban fantasy. I'd like to point that out, especially with urban fantasy, because urban fantasy has a reputation for not being clean. This one is, though. It's really good. I love it. Yeah, and I'm super, super excited to see how it all ends. Also super nervous. Let's be real, because Brittany always loves putting these characters through the ringer times 10, so kind of nervous, too. Also coming out September 30th is Moon Pearls by Noelle Nichols. I also got this book to read and review. This is a this is attached to her Shadows Creed saga, which I've talked about on this channel before. It's an Asian fantasy series. This is a short story set before like the start of the series, and it's really sweet. It's really, I hate to say cozy. A lot of people call it cozy, but it kind of is, but it's also talking about grief. So I kind of feel like that's a bad thing to call it, but hey, it works. It's also just about healing. It's a really good story. It's very fall vibes. She, again, drew the cover because she is uber talented. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one as well. Again, we'll be talking about it in a recent reads-ish video. And then we have my wild cards for September. The first one is, and is already out in the wild, and that is Fate's Defiant by C.M. Banschbach. I butchered that. I know I did. And Brigitte Cromey. This one came out September 10th. It's kind of, I've heard this one, it's like Gladiator, but I think it's set in a fantasy world. So it's like a fantasy Gladiator. So if anyone's seen the movie Gladiator, I have not, but I know kind of the general concept of it, obviously. But the title kind of gives that away. But yeah, it's kind of that. It's about these two different guys who are in a gladiatorial ring together, and they become friends, I think is the gist. Sounds super interesting. I really want to read books from both of these authors, so the fact that they collabed on this one is really intriguing to me. Also, the cover is very interesting too. It's very subdued, but I definitely like the colors for it. I think it will fit for a gladiator type vibe. I don't know. That's just my weird opinion of the moment. This one will be coming out the week I'm filming this, and that is A Study of Shattered Spells by Josiah DeGraaf. This one comes out September 16th. This one I don't know anything about. I think this is the author's first published novel. I think he's published a few short stories before. But I've heard this one is like, it's like set in a magical school, and it's basically like Harry Potter, but you're following the teachers, not the students, is kind of the gist of it. I don't remember if this one's Christian fantasy or not. I know the authors are Christian, but I don't know if this is Christian fantasy or not, but sounds super cool, and this cover is super intriguing. I heard about this book actually from Chantel, I think it was. She was the one who first mentioned it. I didn't even know this book existed until she mentioned it, but it sounds super interesting. And I don't know how I feel. I haven't read too many books in like the academia, dark light academia vibes or anything like that, but so I don't know if I'd like that particularly, but this book sounds interesting, so I do want to try it. Then we have a couple of books in a multi-author series that are based on Greek myths, but these all end happily rather than in the tragedies they usually do. And the first one is A Quest for Wings by Shannon Marie. This comes out September 19th. This is an Eros and Psyche retelling. I know nothing else beyond that. Oh yeah, there was another one in August that released at the end or the beginning that I forgot to mention, which is part of this multi-author series, so I'm throwing this in there. That is A Quest for True Love by Jess Drew. This one, I forget what the retelling is. I will put it down here, which one it's retelling, but I also got an arc for this one. I also super, super enjoyed this one. This one was a lot of fun. And so, yeah, this one came out the end of August, I believe, or it was the beginning of August, and I just didn't have it on my list. Whatever. It came out. It's great, so go check it out. Anyways, the next one that's going to be coming out in September, that's also part of this multi-author series, is A Quest for Victory by Britt Richards. This one's coming out the 26th, and it's a Bellerothon, Fawn, and Pegasus retelling. Yeah, Pegasus apparently is a shape-shifting woman in this version. She can shape-shift into a Pegasus. That is a very interesting concept because I was like, how is this going to work? And I know I said the guy's name wrong, but I don't speak Greek, so here we are. And the last book I have in my wildcard section for September is Swords of Soul and Shadow by Earnest. This comes out the 28th, and this is the third and I think final book in the... I forgot what the series is called. Cities of Smoke and Starlight is the first book. I don't remember the series name. Have I read the first book of this series? No. Do I know if I'll like it? No. It's like a sci-fi, steampunk, fantasy-ish type story. I don't know. Reese from the Writing Songbird, she really loves these books. I had the first book as an ebook. Have I read it yet? No. Of course not. Of course not. But I'm throwing it on here anyways, just because it's the last book in the series, in case other people weren't aware that was coming out, and the cover's cool, and I do want to read it, so here we are. Now we're going to move into October's books, and yeah, this is all over the place. My notes are everywhere for this. I think actually September and November have the most books that I have written down, which is interesting. Anyways, but we're talking about October, and the first one that will be coming out in October, at least the first one, you know what I mean, is Playing the Piper by Jess Drew. This is coming out on the 3rd of October, and this is a short story retelling of the Pied Piper, but with a kind of spooky twist, I believe, as she's called it, like a spooky type retelling, so I'm not fully sure what the spooky part is, but we shall see. And yeah, this is a short story. She had it originally in an anthology of stories, but the anthology is now out of print, so she is republishing this story herself. And there went a raven. Anyways, a raven flew by the window, sorry. Anyways, so yeah, I'm very interested to read this one. I'm very excited to get to this one. I have an arc for this one. So yeah, but it's just a short story, so might work for Chantel's like autumn readathon, or not readathon, her bingo card thing that she's doing, which I know one of the prompts is spooky, so this one might work for that if anyone's looking for a suggestion. Or I think short story is also on that card too, if I'm remembering correctly. So this one might work for that too, if you guys are looking for ideas and you are participating in that. The next one is all the way to the 21st of October, and that is Glass Across the Sea by Sarah Ella. I don't know much about this one. Sarah Ella, I've liked her books before. I really love Coral by her. Her Unblemished trilogy, I really liked the first book, but I didn't care for the last two, unfortunately, and I haven't read the Wonderland Trials yet. I want to, but I haven't gotten to that one yet. But anyways, this is going to be her newest release, and it's, I don't know if it's a Cinderella retelling per se, but it's Cinderella inspired. It's going to be published by Enclave Escape, I think, Enclave Publishing, and this one, yeah, it's Cinderella inspired, at least, if not an outright retelling, not sure. This cover is gorgeous. I obviously want to read this, but yeah, Sarah Ella is one of those authors where one of her books obviously has worked for me, but the others, not so much. Okay, and then the next one that also is coming out the 21st, which I am dying to get my hands on, because yes, I just am, is My Hero Academia Volume 42. This one is the final volume of the series. It's the finale. It's the wrap-up. I must know what happens. I must know how it all ends. I'm hoping for a happy ending. I'm pretty sure it's gonna get one. But yeah, I'm very excited for this one. I will be, if I can, if at all possible, I will be buying a copy of this one right away, because I want to read this, and yeah, I just need to know how it ends. This is a manga series, superheroes. I've been totally invested in this series. Yeah, I'm just very excited for this one. And I also have two books coming out on October 24th that I'm interested in. The first one is A Certain Sort of Madness by Nicki Chapelway. This is the third book in the Mage's War saga. Yeah, I'm obviously very excited for this one. I have an arc for this one. Obviously, I'm not going to get to it just yet. I'm going to probably wait later to get to this one, but super excited to continue that series. And also, on the same day, Storm to Victory, the fifth and final book of the War of the Alliance series, will be coming out. Storm to Victory, I did say the title right, I mean the cover's right here. But anyways, by Tara Grayce. Yes, very excited. And interesting that two continuing series, one ending and another one continuing, coming out the same day. That's very funny. Anyways, but yeah, I'm very excited for these. This cover is very interesting. They've all been very epic. They're not my favorite covers in the world for this series, but they're very epic, and this one especially. And I have two books in my wild cards section. The first one is Flame Theory by CFE Black. This one I have no idea actually when it's coming out. The listing, the month on Goodreads said October, but it doesn't say a day, and there's actually, as far as I know, there's no confirmation it's actually coming out in October. I think it's coming out sometime later this year. And I've heard this one is very, it's similar to, it's like what was it described as? 6 of Crows with How to Train Your Dragon. So it's like a heist with dragons, maybe? I don't know. I try not to look too much at comparison titles anymore, mainly because the books don't ever live up to that, or are in no way like it. But sometimes it's helpful to kind of see where kind of the idea of a story, especially because beyond that, there is no description. There's nothing about this. There was a Kickstarter for this book, I think earlier this year. So yeah, that's all I have to go on. I didn't like the one book I've read by this author, but I do want to keep trying her because that was a shorter book. And sometimes some authors, I like their longer books better than their shorter ones. So I still want to try it. This cover's super cool. That's just kind of all the information I have on it. The other book, which is a wild card, is Every Longing Heart by Claire Trella Hill. This is coming out on the 24th. Oh, as well as Certain Sort of Madness and Storm to Victory. Cool. This one is a sequel to her kind of gothic vampire story, Black and Deep Desires, which I do have. I hope to read it this fall. We shall see. But this is like a sequel, companion sequel, because I think that one started as a standalone. And this one's kind of like its own standalone, but it's a sequel as well. I have it as a wild card because I have really liked one of this author's books, and the other one that I read by her I didn't care for too much. But again, those were novellas. This is a novel, so I might like her novels better. I don't know. We shall see once I read Black and Deep Desires. We'll see. But yeah, I wanted to put this up here. But yeah, that's pretty much all I know about it. It's like, I don't know, is it set in the Victorian era? I don't remember. I think they are. It's kind of like a gothic type story. There's vampires involved. That sort of thing. And it's Christian as well. The series is Christian. I always am very intrigued with the Christian, like, not paranormal. Well, yeah, paranormal too, but the Christian, like, urban fantasy stuff where they have vampires and werewolves with, like, a faith element. I'm very intrigued when authors do that, and I always want to check those books out. Always interested with how authors approach it with vampires, too, and the Christian faith, so I definitely want to check this one out, as long as I like the first book, but we shall see. We have November, which is a lot. There's a lot here. So I'm not going in great detail by any of these, but we're just going to dive right in. The first one has the most beautiful cover, and that is On the Edge of the Forgotten. Crap, does this have another word? Is it On the Edge of the Forgotten Sea? Did I forget to write a word down? That is highly possible. The cover will correct me unless it is On the Edge of the Forgotten, but it sounds like something's missing. Is it On the Edge of the Forgotten Sea? And that is going to drive me nuts until I actually look at the book again, and I'm going to be like, you're such an idiot for not writing that down. Anyways, this is by Alyssa J. Zapalianos. I still need to know if that's how you say her author's last name. I should email her and ask her. Is that how you say your last name? Anyways, this is coming out the 5th of November. It has the most beautiful cover. I think it's either a retelling or inspired by The Little Mermaid. It's a fantasy. That is literally all I know. It has the most beautiful cover. It's the first of a new series, which I don't remember the series name, but yeah, I definitely want to read this. This is beautiful, and regardless if I remember the entire title or not. That's my bad if I did leave out a word. Next one is also a very exciting one. This is going to be the finale of the Legends of Lanneria series, The Queen of Lanneria by Michaela Bush. Christian, non-magical fantasy. I am so excited for this book. I have the arc for it. Have I read it yet, even though I've had it for several months now? No, I have not. I feel bad about that, but I haven't gotten to it, and I was trying to read it closer to November, but who knows? I'll probably read it this fall. I am so excited for this because I want to see how this is all going to end. Yeah. So, I'm very excited for this one. Next book in the Mage's War Saga will be coming out, the 4th book. It will be coming out sometime in September. An official date is not released yet, and that is A Game of Dark Magic by Nicki Chapelway. Love this cover. Yeah. I've heard from her, I think she said this one's almost 500 to 600 pages. This one's super long, apparently, and I am here for it. I love her long books. And everything's just going to be heading towards, wow, epic proportions by this point. So I'm going to be very excited to read this one. I'll definitely have to plan accordingly when I get the arc, because like, because I'm on the arc team for the whole series. That's why I keep getting the books for that series. But yeah, we'll definitely have to plan when to read that one. Editing Sarah here. The 5th book of the Mage's War Saga is actually going to release the same day as the 4th book. So previously it was planned to be released in December. It's going to be releasing on November 7th as well, and that is a matter of curiosity. This is the 5th book in the series, and yeah, it's going to be releasing the same day as A Game in Dark Magic. Also, I thought I would throw in another book that I forgot about. That is going to be releasing on November 4th for all my RomCon contemporary reviewers out there, and that is Terms and Traditions by Morgan. I should have asked the author how to say her last name. I don't know how to say her last name, but here it is on the cover. Yeah, this one's going to be releasing November 4th. It sounds like a cute Christmassy type rom-com. It has fake dating in it. I really don't know much about it. I do have an arc for this one, as well as a matter of curiosity, so I will be reading and talking about these books at some point. So, but yeah, that's all I have for now. I just wanted to throw those two in there, and yeah, now back to the main video. And another one, oh, I should have said this one after the first one I mentioned. Oh, well. This one, going back in time, on November 7th, a new Jail Night book's coming out. I'm super excited. I believe this is going to be I think it's Christian. I think it's Christian fantasy. Viking inspired. I think it's going to be a standalone as well, and that is Alliance Bride. I am very excited for this. It's Viking inspired. It's a romantasy. It's going to be clean coming from her, and this will be her first fantasy book outside of Ilion. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to read this one. And yeah, I was super excited to get that newsletter from her saying that she's gonna have a new book this year. So yeah, I'm very excited about this one. I mean, I'm excited about all of them. I just keep saying that, but it's true. Now we're into our wild cards for November. Like I said, there's a lot here in November. The first one is a Korean manhwa, I believe. It's on Webtoons, so I'm assuming it's Korean. And that is Love for a Walk, Volume 1. This one's coming out on November 4th. Now, I know it has to deal with, it's romance, and it has to deal with dogs. I mean, the two people have dogs, and that's how they connect and fall in love and stuff. I don't know anything beyond that. I know my friend Laura has read some of this and said it was super cute. I actually saw a review for it on YouTube, and that got me interested in it, but beyond that, I really know nothing about this. So I'm just having it up here as a wild card, but I do want to try it. The next one is Magic Claimed by Kenley Davidson. This one comes out November 14th. This is going to be the final book in her newest urban fantasy series, which I believe which is in the same world and connects to her Dragon of 23rd Street trilogy, which I really liked. Kenley Davidson is an author who, aside from the Dragon of 23rd Street, her other books I haven't really liked too much, but I'm still want to try this one because it's clean urban fantasy. There isn't that much of that out there, and I did like the Dragon of 23rd Street. So I do want to try this series. Beyond that, I know nothing about it. I think the love interest for the main character might be one of a character from the Dragon of 23rd Street, but beyond that, I really know nothing about this series. So that's why it's on this list, but it'll be the final book in that series. Then we have another urban fantasy that is supposedly coming out in November. I don't know if the date will have changed because apparently the author was moving. So I don't know if the date for this one will change, and that is Rhymer Treason by Sarah Baran. This is coming out on the 25th, and this is an urban fantasy series with, I think it's also a retelling of a rhyme? Of rhymes. But it's an urban fantasy as well. Super intrigued by this one. Yeah, and also, like I said before, clean urban fantasy. If I find it, I at least want to try it. So, yeah. And I have liked some of Sarah Baran's books. I haven't liked others, of course, but that's the case with most people. With most authors I read from, I like some of their books and I don't like others. Except for the very few where I'm like, I love everything they've written. But yeah. Definitely want to check this one out. Don't know much beyond that, though. And then the last one for November, which is coming out on the 30th, is a short story anthology, and that is The Edge of a Knife and Other Stories by Becca Grimakova. I hope I said her name right. I read the previous anthology in this series called, what was it? Unexpected Encounters of a Draconic Kind, and I really enjoyed a lot of those short stories, so I'm very interested and really want to try this one as well. I have a couple for other short stories and novellas on my Kindle. Say it with me, everybody. I haven't gotten to them yet. But yeah, but I definitely want to do this one. That is kind of all I have on that one. It's going to be a variety of fantasy short stories. She writes other things as well, but most of them are fantasy, I believe. Retellings. So yeah, it's just going to be a random variety of short stories, and I'm very interested and excited for it. Now, we finally have December, and December has the shortest amount, and the first one comes out December 1st, and that is This Thawed Heart by Jess Drew. This is it's a Snow Queen retelling combined with Romeo and Juliet. That's literally all I know. It is kind of a sequel to This Frozen Heart, which is also a Snow Queen retelling that she released last year, I think it was, in December. So this is kind of a sequel to that one, but she did say you can read this one as a standalone, and that would be perfectly fine. You don't need to read the first one. I will probably read the first one before this one, but that's just how I like to do things like that, if possible, and if my mood allows. But yeah, this one has a gorgeous cover, and very intrigued to know how the Snow Queen and Romeo and Juliet are going to go together. Yeah, very intrigued by that one, and hopefully, I don't think it's going to end tragically. Jess Drew typically writes happy endings, but you never know. Some authors just might change their minds one day and decide, I don't want to write happy endings anymore, and decide to write tragedies. I doubt it. We got enough tragedy in the world, but you know, some people just might. The next two come out the same day, and the first one is Yona the Dawn, Volume 45. This comes out December 2nd. Zeno looks very terrifying on this cover. I still haven't decided if I'm going to continue the series or wait until it ends. I'm leaning towards I may just start reading it. I might wait until I know when Volume 46 will come out in English, and then I might make my decision based around that. I don't know if I'm going to read this one yet, but I will definitely be getting a copy and having it on hand. And yeah, Zeno looks properly terrifying on this cover. So, and I know things from the very, very vague things that because I've been avoiding spoilers like the plague if I can. But from the very, very vague things I know about this series, no one's in a good spot right now. So yeah. But we'll see. I may just decide at some point, you know what? I'm going to reread the whole series and just read the final ones that I haven't gotten to yet. So, but we're going to see, and that'll probably be next year if I decide to do that, but we'll see. Also coming out on the 2nd is My Hero Academia Team Up Missions Volume 7. This series has been pretty fun for the most part. It's a spin-off series from the original series where it's just random missions that with random characters put together. I haven't liked it as much as the main series, of course, but it's still pretty fun, and I still want to at least read it till its conclusion. And I like the colors of this one. I like how it's a more of a pastel-y type color palette. I don't know, I just think the cover of this one is really pretty. And I only have one wild card for December. This one is only a wild card because of the other authors connected to it. And that is To Love You, a collection of contemporary fairy tale retellings. This one I'm only interested in because my bestie, Michaela Bush, has a story in it. That's the only reason I'm willingly going to read contemporary fairy tale retelling, which so far has not really worked out for me in the other books I've tried. And also, it's Michaela. I'm going to read her stuff. But also included in this anthology are Michaela Bush, Jenny Marie Ryan, and Kaylee Whitford, I believe. This bind-up will be coming out on December 9th. But yeah, it's only a wild card because the other two authors I know nothing about, have never read anything by them. I don't know if they even have anything else published. But if it was just Michaela's, it would be just in the regular section. But because of these other two authors, I'm putting it in the wild card section. I don't know what fairy tales they're all retelling. I mean, the other two are retelling. Michaela's I know is a Rapunzel retelling. I don't know about the other two, so yeah. And this cover's super cute and pretty. I really like the cover. And yeah, that is it. Those are all the books that I am eagerly anticipating for the last quarter or last half. Have I done 4 of these videos or 3? I think I've only done 3. Why do I keep calling it a quarter? Anyways, for the last part of the year, yeah, I am super excited for pretty much all of these, except for like a couple of them where I'm just not sure. Or, you know, the one where I haven't even started the series yet. So, I don't even know if I'm gonna like them, but you know. Oh well. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys are excited for any books that are not on this list that will be coming out in these last 4 months of the year. Let me know if you're excited for any of these books. Have you heard of any of these? Yeah, let's just talk everything down below in the comments. I always love hearing from you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.